Alright guys, in today's video we are building and painting the bike Chaplain that came with the Combat Patrol Space Marines part of the subscription. This is the last model that I've gotten as part of the subscription, though it's not the last model that I'm painting, that I'm saving the Brutalis Dreadnought, which I'm already a good little chunk of the way through at the time of editing this, but that's for another day, and I have a little tease that at the end. But we're going to get started and get this bad boy thrown together. Assembly on this was pretty great. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. The only thing is I kind of regret fully assembling it before painting. Probably should have left the bike off the base and then left most of the Marine off of that as well. But I was trying to get this thing done quick, and also I was decided to, for the most part, follow the instructions that come with the Combat Patrol magazine for actually painting this guy. And simply so, on there they put him fully together. They don't put him on the base though. I didn't realize that. I threw him on the base, but they fully assembled the Marine on the bike, so before they paint him, so that's what I did. It did make a couple of spots later on hard to get to. Some of them you can't really see, so it's not that big of a deal that they're not like fully painted properly, like the color they should be. But yeah, we'll basically just go ahead and get this main body of the bike. I don't remember what I was throwing my hands up about there. There wasn't really nothing much to sand on this as far as seams or anything. Didn't have any seam problems. I did make sure that the top center seam was good though, which there's two big armor places that go over this one, so I sanded it and smoothed it out, but then didn't need to. Okay, I'm just getting more of the bike put together. I got pretty much all the parts for the Marine out. And at this point, once I kind of did all the sub-assemblies for the Marine, I decided to go ahead and just get out all the parts cut out and throw them together. I didn't do any just like Dark Angels, because that's how I painted my Space Marines for the Combat Patrol, this Dark Angels. I didn't do any like Dark Angels special pieces or nothing like that. I do throw a decal on the painted shoulder pad, the green shoulder pad that matches the rest of the army. But other than that, I didn't. I mean, I like the pose he has. I like the way he's holding his Crozius. I like the shoulder pads that come with him, with all the purity seals on them. So, I mean, I guess technically I could have probably maybe tried and sit there and take some of them off. Or I'm sure I got plenty laying around that I could have just remade the shoulder, but so I just could keep it as is. But we just about got this guy done. Just got to throw these last handful of parts on. I kind of wish it was done. I mean, as much as I like this model, I wish it was kind of like some of the older ones I've seen, where you build like definitely some of the fantasy models where you build the rider all in one and then you put him on top of the thing. So he's entirely as a separate piece, but the pose is pretty cool how integrated he is into it. But with that, we pretty much got this guy done, and I'm getting ready to put the book that's on top. I was actually surprised how well those chains lined up that go for this book. Just kind of shows like how all over the place the quality of Warhammer models can be. Or look at something like as delicate as this, like super accurate, but then you get a psychophage that you don't even know how it's being held together because half the seams are just open gaps. Of course, mine was kind of damaged and maybe warped, but hey. But yeah, we got them all nice and primed in black. Instructions don't say nothing about actually priming. I think pretty much all the Combat Patrol paint instructions just have you start throwing paint on it right away, which I thought was interesting. I guess because it's only showing paints that are included, and they don't give you any spray cans because I don't, for whatever reason. But we're going straight. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure there's a nice clean coat of black, but then I'm going right into the lead belcher. So this is gonna be like the exhaust, the wheel part of the tire, the wheels, actually the rim. A couple of little accent pieces, like the foot pedals, the actual like inner sides, Parts of the bolt guns. Kind of looking at my guy here. Yeah, this is some parts of the bolt guns. I stick out the chains, obviously. A couple pieces on the backpack, like the exhaust and such. But yeah, getting to like all those places, like kind of behind the legs, was kind of a no-go. So I did what I could, but then I just went on to the next stuff. But here he is. And you can see I got most of the stuff kind of in the main body area. I have some buckles and little bits on his helmet. I mean, to be honest, the paint scheme for this Chaplain bike is pretty straightforward, so I probably would have ended up pretty similar if I would have just kind of did it on my own. But next is the Retributor armor, which has become like one of my favorite golds. Like, it just covers so good. But this is going to be all the trim on his armor, the actual emblem of his Crozius, little bits on the book, ends of the handles. He's got the skull symbol on each side of his of the main armor of the bike that you see I'm painting here now. And this is just one of those slow, tedious parts where you just gotta kind of just be patient, clean up as you go with the black. Which normally I do my black armor differently. I coat it black and then I stipple on a really dark gray to just kind of break it up some, but it's a little harder to clean up when you add like texture like that sometimes. But I'll go ahead and get the rest of this gold trim painted up, and here we are. It's starting to really come together. I mean, it's amazing how much, 3 colors get you on a Chaplain. On an all-black Space Marine on an all-black bike. I thought about doing some of the armor panels of the bike in the Dark Angels colors, but I ended up just not. If I would have had it like fully separate, I might have. But next we're going to do Ratcar's Flesh for the Purity Seals, Piston Red for like the housing of the bolt rifles that stick out, the handle of the Crozius, the handlebars on the bike itself. And then we'll come back with some Screamer Pink for the actual Purity Seals themselves. Which kind of jumped around there real quick. It's one of those things where I accidentally had myself painting it just out of frame. So yeah, might as well cut it. But yeah, you see they're coming along nicely. Usually on my Dark Angels I want to say I do Mephiston Red for the seals, but I decided to do the Screamer Pink, which is what I do my Blood Angels. Because I think that's what it has us do. And also you do Screamer Pink for the book too. And Ratcar Flesh for the pages. You see we got all that done. So now just handful more accent colors. Gotta do a couple little bits of leather, particularly on the holster for the pistol, the strap that's in the book. Also, we have to do. I believe this is Korax White. I did for his actual helmet, and it's obviously Piston Red in his eyes, as you can see. And then I also did the same white on the skull that's on the back of the bike. These could probably go with a wash. It did take actually a lot of coats to get these. Definitely the skull on the back of the bike, I might throw a wash on it, like a brown wash to make it more bone. I have to compare him to some of my other Chaplain models that I have, see if I want to darken it up or not for his actual. Oh, and I did the shoulder pad in my Dark Angels formula, which is rough coat of moot green followed by Dark Angels contrast. Now we're actually doing the big rock, which this was pretty hard getting all the way under there, but I did it. I just did one with the light gray followed by a bunch of mixing in some Korax White with it. Kind of did it in a handful of coats here and there, and I did go over it with Unknown Oil Wash to make it all dark and dirty. Probably could have went back with some more. I don't know, it looks pretty good. They could have gone back with a little more of the Korax White. or even some matte white. And now we're going to go with the, of course, the classic AK Dark Earth basing material that I love to use so much. I am, for some of the other armies, going to get some different ones so they're not all the same brown. And I probably should have, I thought about putting some, you know, like bushes and stuff in here, but I ended up not going with that. Though I did add, as a sort of tease for the upcoming Eldari models I'll be painting hopefully soon, went through my trophies, little sprues, and pulled out a Eldari helmet and painted it blue with the white for the Yandin, the yellow, mostly yellow ones that have the blue helmets. And so it's a nice, like, little fucked up one that just a nice, cool little accent piece to go kind of right in the center bottom, sort of the base, kind of. And I just glued it down with some more of the AK Earth. Works pretty great. Stuff's still wet, so yeah. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Come back for more. I got the Dreadnought coming up, as well as some Gundam stuff too. Here's the pretty much finished model. I also want to say shout out to everyone for subscribing from Team Warhammer video. Got over 100 subscribers finally. It's pretty sweet. Also, in this video, I didn't do it in the video, but here I have these Terminators. So I painted those some months ago. They came a lot earlier in the description, but I ran out of time to actually finish all of them for the video. So I went ahead and just finished them off. So I'm just showing off, you know, the ones that I weren't properly finished that I got done. And then here's the tease for the Dreadnought. As always, I'll see y'all in the next one.